Doey the Doughman, one of the most tragic experiments in all of Poppy Playtime. A creature that, at first glance, looks like nothing more than living dough, but in reality hides 3 different personalities inside. 3 lives, 3 minds, and possibly 3 chances to survive. But the main question remains, did he really die in Chapter 4, or is his story not over yet? Doey, also known as Experiment 1322, is not just another toy. He is one of the most unusual results of the Bigger Bodies Initiative. Unlike the others, he wasn't created from a single person, but from 3. Jack Ayers, Kevin Barnes, Matthew Hallard. And that's exactly what makes him unique. Each of them brought something into Doey. Jack, sadness and fear. Matthew, kindness and compassion. Kevin, rage and aggression. And if you really think about it, Doey isn't just a monster. He's a constant battle inside one body. Sometimes kindness takes control, sometimes fear, and sometimes pure anger. Each of their stories is tragic on its own. Jack Ayers was just a normal kid who got a lucky ticket to visit the factory, but that visit became his last. He was seen separated from the group, inside the dough processing area, and that's where everything changed. Kevin Barnes was completely different, unstable, aggressive, quick to lose control, and capable of hurting even those around him. But here's the thing. I think his impulsive and violent side wasn't entirely wrong. In fact, there's a strong argument that Kevin only loses control when no one listens to him, when his warnings are ignored and things fall apart anyway. Because if you look at what happened, the safe haven was destroyed, and Poppy, along with the player, played a major role in that. And yet, Kevin's perspective was never truly considered. Poppy was always the one in control, and without Kevin, Doey likely wouldn't have survived at all. Back when Poppy was still locked away, the other personalities didn't have the strength or the courage to do what had to be done. Kevin did. He fought. He led. He brought supplies when no one else could. Even something like killing the Pianosaurus for food. That wasn't kindness. That was survival. And according to one of my theories, in the recordings where Rich Avery is speaking to a child, that child might actually be Kevin. Unless it's some other orphan, which would break the theory. This could mean that Kevin was already tired of Playtime Company's methods long before everything escalated. So maybe Kevin doesn't snap for no reason. Maybe he only breaks when people ignore him, and then everything goes wrong anyway. Because at the end of the day, he was the part of Doey that was strong enough to survive. The part that could endure the facility, lead the safe haven, and protect others. Matthew alone wouldn't have been enough. Without Kevin's strength, or his willingness to act, Doey might not have lasted as long as he did. And then there's Matthew Hallard, the complete opposite. Smart, calm, and caring, so much so that even the scientists questioned whether they should use him at all. But as we know, that never really stopped them. After the experiment, Jack's parents were told they could see their son again. Just imagine that. Hope, expectation, belief that everything could be fixed. But when they arrived, they were locked in a room with Doey. And the moment Kevin took control, he killed them. Not because he wanted to, but because he believed they were enemies. And that might have been exactly what the scientists wanted. Physically, Doey is almost perfect. His body is made of a dough-like substance, giving him incredible abilities. He can change shape, squeeze through the smallest gaps, withstand massive damage. He weighs around 900 pounds, yet remains incredibly flexible and fast. He's powerful enough to easily kill the Pianosaurus and even hold back the prototype. That alone puts him on another level. Personally, I think he's potentially stronger than even the prototype. But even something like him has a weakness: cold. One of the few things that can actually harm him. After the chaos at the factory, Doey didn't become just another mindless monster. Instead, he tried to help. He stayed behind and created a safe haven for other toys, and that matters, because it shows that Matthew was still there. But eventually, everything falls apart. Rage takes over, Kevin gains control, and Doey becomes something far more dangerous, a creature driven entirely by anger. And in the end, we are forced to kill him. Sometimes all three of them speak at once through Doey. For example, in the moment of his death, he realizes what he's done, and he says, "I'm sorry." But the third voice, which I believe was Kevin, the one who was in control when Doey tried to kill us, stays silent. But maybe, deep down, even he wanted to apologize.
You and Poppy! It's all your fault! We're to kill you! Kill everyone who hurts me! Can't trust anyone! The gentle voices lie! You lie! I'm trying to be better, to be who they needed. Not smart enough, not good enough, not... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
At first, Doey, or more specifically Kevin, is yelling in rage, blaming us and Poppy for everything. But then the other two personalities take over, and they apologize. And this is where things get interesting. If there were three personalities inside him, did all of them really die? What if Doey didn't just have one life, but three? What if in Chapter 4 we only destroyed one part of him? Most experiments are connected to the Poppy gel, which means there's a chance he could be restored, especially considering we've seen similar things happen before. I know this all sounds like nonsense. Yes, the chances are low. He didn't appear in Chapter 5, but this game has already proven that it loves unexpected returns, like it was with Huggy Wuggy, and I want to remind you that this is just a raft of my imagination and theory. So, will Doey return in Chapter 6? We don't know yet, but one thing is certain. He's not just a monster. He's one of the most complex and tragic characters in the entire game. What do you think? Is he really gone? Or is this not the end of his story? Write your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read them.